Welcome back, everybody, to Altered Daily Living. Today, for you, I've brought you something that is not new, which makes it perfect. It's been tested, tried and true. Let's get down to it and show you what I got today. Alright, so it is that time of year again where everyone loves to go camping, cooking outside, and it is very important to have a good stove for that. There are so many on the market, and price, you get what you pay for. And so for my application, I needed a stove that would look nice and be quality and safe in my van, as well as be able to take outside and use on nice, beautiful days. I went with the Everest Camp Chef stove because of its 2-burner function. It's 20,000 BTU per burner, gives you just absolute control over that flame. So let's check out a few specs on this. This stove weighs about 12 pounds. If you're looking at the stove, you're about 23.5 inches wide by 13.5 inches long by 4 inches deep. And that does not include however you decide to hook up your propane. You will get the stove, and you also get one of these attachments here, which is meant to take your propane and put it on to what will be the side of the stove right here. This is where you'll hook up your propane. But it comes with its own attachment for that. Now, I have never used this attachment. I came with it, watching some of the reviews, said that the fitting on there tends to get loose, and last thing you ever want is an issue inside your van. So as we like to travel and this stove moves around, you know, I check all my fittings anyway, because last thing you want is a leak, and that should be part of your regular maintenance, is to check your fittings to make sure everything's okay. I opted not to use this piece. I've never used it. So what I did is I ordered a 30-inch Stansport hose with high flow regulator. And I'll put all the links for this down below. But yeah, I ordered the hose. Gives you a little more flexibility. And I've never had an issue with anything coming loose or any problems. If you take a look at the right-hand side of the stove, you notice right here is where we put our propane. It's where we put our hookup for it. Super simple. It's all threaded, ready to go. And so when you go to hook up your propane, you'll use the end that looks like this. Kind of has a deal that slides back and forth. And that'll just go in just like that. And you'll just take and twist it. Now, if you notice you're having a hard time turning it, pull it back out and try again. Last thing you ever want to do is strip your threads. And then just take that, just get that a nice, just kind of hand tight. Nothing super extreme. And here's what this thing looks like hooked up with the factory pieces, the part that connects into the side of your stove to put on your propane tank. And if you notice, it does take up a lot more space. I mean, so you've got to have that much more space dedicated. And for an application like I have mine in the van, you know, space is very important. So it's really nice to be able to stick that hose in, route that hose where I need it to go, and have my propane out of sight, out of mind, or secured in a better place. So looking at the back side of the stove, you'll notice we've got the hinges that hold the door. And everything seems to have been pretty quality. Nothing's been failing. I've been using this stove for well over a year now, and it's done everything perfectly. Even the finish on this stove is real nice. It's kind of a little bit tactile. Doesn't feel like just a smooth, glossy finish, and it looks great. Yeah, so that's the back side of the stove. And on the other side of the stove, there isn't anything for function here. So here's the front of this bad boy, the business side of things. So here we have our striker button, which is real nice. No lighter, no matches, no nothing needed. And it works great every time. Just one push, everything lights. And of course, we have our burner knobs here. They turn to the left. And the amount of spin on here, the amount of control you have over your cooking is just unreal. That was one of the selling points for me on this stove. And I've had this stove in and out of the van. These clips that open the lid. They're plastic, but it seems like if you just use it how it's supposed to be, there's no reason to torque and peel that forward as far as you can. It just takes very little, and then just clip right in, just like that. I've had no issues with the hardware on this stove. I've got nothing failing. Another neat feature that I like about this stove, which makes it great for portability, is they put a handle underneath here. So if you need to tote this thing around, it's got a handle. Also on the bottom side here, you also have little metal feet guy that come down. So when you open this puppy up, you'll notice it's not brand new. It's because it's not brand new. But it sets up real easy. So on the sides here, you have these wind guards, and they just got a little tab here on the back, and it just kind of slide in there. Holds up your lid here. For my application here in the van, this thing works out great. This lid turns into a back shield that keeps my wall nice and clean. These side deals, yeah, kind of same deal, turn into a shield. And if you've seen on one of my last videos, I used this stove outside when it was pretty windy out, too windy even for a campfire. And I gotta say, their design on here worked out beautifully. I was able to cook my food no problem, and it was windy. It's got a pretty high quality nickel plated steel grate. Also got that nice drip tray around the burner, also giving direct heat up to whatever you're cooking on. I've been able to put my big cast iron pan and my teapot on at the same time without any complications. And if you need a little more space, you can just take these down and put that lid back, which will give a little wider space. So it makes this really nice. It is a matchless, lighterless starting stove. So you just take and turn your knob to the left. Make sure when you hook this up that your knobs are all both turned to the right, so that way you're not expelling gas before you need to. You just take and turn it to the left. You'll hear the gas, and one click, just like that. It's a nice, beautiful flame. And you can really take that down to just a very, very itty bitty little flame. So if you need a simmer or just keep things warm, we'll make it raging Cajun. Now, things that I did notice, over time, you'll kind of get that blue anodized look on here. But if you're using the little green cylinders for propane, that is supposedly a dirtier propane. And I did notice that I kind of get a little bit of yellowing on my flame sometimes, and once in a while a little bit of a dark kind of a soot on there. So if you experience any kind of sooty issues, it's not your stove, it's just the quality of the propane. Now, I do take and hook this up to my big tank every so often, and that is a much cleaner burning flame. You don't get any of the soot, you don't get any yellowing on your fire, and it's just another thing to think about. Thank you so much for following me today. This was not a paid review. Camp Chef has paid me $0 to talk about this product. It's just a product that I've had in here for well over a year now, and it has done us well. The quality is amazing. We run tons of propane through little tanks and off of my big tank. Never had an issue. That Stansport hose, I highly recommend that. I'll make sure that is in a link down below as well. I see these are on sale right now on Amazon for $109. I'll make sure I put the link for that down below as well. When it comes to Amazon links, I know most YouTubers have Amazon affiliate links. And so when you go in there and you purchase from us, or you purchase other things using our link, we get a tiny percentage, which is no cost to you, but it really greatly helps us with our channels and helps us keep putting out content for you. So I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me today and sticking through to the end. If you stuck through to the end, if you're thinking about one of these stoves, you're not going to go wrong. So until I see you guys again next time, stay safe, be happy, be creative, and remember, hit that subscribe button if you like seeing this. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this was all right and you'd like to see more. We'll see you guys again next time. Have a great day.